is just ASMR October, but in her intro, she says ASMR October. This is her end of the year reflections tag. She tagged yours truly in it, and she's my girl. I really love her, and so it is my pleasure to do it. I've been excited from the jump. I will tag other people down below in the description, but I also invite anyone and everyone who wants to do the tag to do the tag. You're always welcome to do any tag you like, and if you do it, I would love to see your video. I'd love to see your video after you film it, so let me know about it. Alright, essentially there are 12 questions, one question for each month of the year. So let's get into it. January. How did you start the year? What were your hopes or resolutions? So I started this past year newly married. I guess I've never been big on marriage. At the same time, it did feel significant to get married. After we got married, a lot of people would ask, like, what's different? Is anything different in married life for you? And me and my partner kind of asked each other that here and there too, and we were just always like, no, it feels the same. So our answer was always, we feel the same. But I will say one unexpected surprise or gift of it is that our families reacted strongly or beautifully to it, where my partner's family has always been so lovely to me, so warm and kind and welcoming. But after we got married, they were even more warm and kind and welcoming. I could tell that they were really seeing me as their daughter, which was very interesting. I didn't think that they could get kinder, but they did. There's just some kind of shift. I could tell in the way they were talking to me that they were treating me like a daughter all of a sudden. It was really interesting to know and really lovely. And then my sister's husband, so my brother-in-law, already was feeling like, he and I were siblings-in-law. And then when I got married to my partner, he was like, oh crap. At our wedding, he was like, oh crap, I just realized, like, your partner is not married to you. Like, we are all siblings-in-law. The four of us will, if we're lucky, have the opportunity to make a lifetime of memories together. And I feel really grateful for that. And I'm really happy to call you family, kind of thing. So also very sweetly, my brother-in-law was like, welcome, like, we are family. And those developments were unexpected for me and really beautiful to receive and be a part of. So that's how I started the new year, newly married. I think we loved our wedding. It was so fun and joyful, but we were also really happy in January to be past the wedding planning, just to be done with it. So it was so nice to arrive in January and be like, we have all this time open to us again now. Plus, in January, you always have so much time, I feel. I love January. As a Capricorn, I love flipping the page to a new year. January always feels very expansive to me. It's full, it has a kind of crackling energy, and it's full of free time. No one wants to hang out. Very few plans are being made. February. What moment or experience in February stood out the most? Valentine's Day was nice, but I think I would say that in February I started to, I'm trying to think of how I want to say it. I started to rescind my energy from a friendship that was no longer working for me. It was only draining me, draining all of my energy and all of my peace. I've talked about this a little bit on Patreon, but here I'll just say, yeah, it was a tricky friendship and had been for several years at that point. In the past, something I learned that I pass on to others is if you're not sure that a relationship is worth putting energy into, all you have to do is ask yourself, after you spend time with that person, do you feel better or worse? That's it, better or worse. And there's no scale, it's just better or worse. So even if it's a little bit better, and even if it's a little bit worse, it's like, and over time, if you notice every single time that you spend time with them, you feel worse, a lot worse, or a little worse, it's probably not worth your time and not good or productive or fulfilling for you, right? So I had learned that previously, and I really carried that with me. And then with this friendship, I don't know what it was, but I just kept making excuses for her for a few years, and then I realized how simple it was. This same question I come back to, which is, was I feeling better or worse? I was always feeling worse. It drained my energy, and the friendship made me feel bad. The friendship made me feel like confused and tangled up in other people's problems. There was a lot of, it was just really messy and weird, and a lot of weight was put on me through it. So once I came to that conclusion, it was a long process, but in February I really started to rescind my energy from that friendship. Just kind of took some steps back from it, and again, it was a process, and there were other stages at which I further rescinded my energy, but February is when it began, and I can say that from here now, I feel great having done that. I have zero regrets. That is one of the best decisions I made this year, and the best developments in my life this year. So, March. What did you accomplish or learn this month? Okay, I'm terrible at doing my hair. I don't like to blow dry it. I don't like to curl it. Before my wedding, I got this hair tool, like a kind of hot comb situation called the DNA Hair Tools Styling Comb, I think it's called. I bought it used off of Poshmark because my mom had one and loved it. can straighten your hair with it. You can curl your hair with it, put a little wave in, do a little blowout situation. So it's very useful for me, even though my abilities are pretty limited with it, but it's useful for me, and I've never ever been able or had much interest in doing my hair, so it is, yeah, something I learned. Okay, 4. Did you experience any turning points or surprises? That's for April. So this month, these few months, but especially in April, I was worried about money. I am a freelancer, and for many years now, I've been cobbling together different lines of work and different clients, and there was a big shift for me professionally this past year, well, 2023, like fall of 2023, and anyway, coming around to April 2024, I was stressed about money. It was fine, but I am easily stressed by that, and what I've done in the past is I've figured it out myself. I just take care of it, but it is very stressful for me. So in April, I was feeling very stressed about it and trying to figure it out for myself. And I was really bent out of shape about it one day. And over dinner, I ended up telling my partner about it, just kind of out of exasperation, because I was so stressed, and he just listened, and talking to him about it really helped me. He suggested some things and gave me some perspective that really, really helped. And it wasn't, even though we're married, it wasn't even like he was like, oh, I'll solve your money problems for you with money or with whatever. It wasn't like he put a solution in my hand. He just paid attention to the problem and then talked about it with me. And I felt like a turning point there for me was, for the first time, really realizing, oh, I guess I have a life partner now. Oops. Where instead of having to whip myself up into a frenzy trying to figure something out or fix something by myself and not hiding it from my partner, but just trying to solve it by myself and not bother him with it, instead of taking my stress or my worry and turning away from him, I should instead turn towards him. I should lean on him, rely on him, trust him. It just opened my eyes to, oh, I should never turn away from him with my problems. I should turn towards him with my problems. And I already knew that in a way, but I am very self-sufficient, very independent, and used to doing things on my own. And so when something really stresses me out and it's something that I am private about, yeah, I realize, like, even the worries that I'm private about, I can turn towards my partner with them and trust him. It seems simple, but that was a nice realization. Okay, 5, May. What personal or professional milestone did you hit in May? So, I don't know if it's a milestone, but this month was so marked by something that I just am going to give it as an answer, which is, in May, we went on our honeymoon. Our honeymoon. first big trip together. And our first big trip post-lockdown, I used to travel much more, and post-lockdown I've not taken big trips as much. Less about it being post-lockdown and more just like my life has changed. The face of life is a bit different that I'm in now. But yeah, the honeymoon was beautiful. I talked about it on Patreon, so I won't bore you with that here, but it was gorgeous. We ate good, fresh, inexpensive food, and accidentally befriended a million stray cats, and swam and went to gorgeous, one-of-a-kind, like just unique and strange beaches, and spent a lot of time together. It was amazing. Alright, 6 June. How did you celebrate or embrace the halfway point of the year? So, I always notice the solstice, summer solstice, and I always notice at the end of June is my half birthday. I don't make a big deal out of it, but I always will say on that day, like, it's my half birthday to my partner. So I do market the solstice and my half birthday just by saying it, naming it, but we don't do anything for it. I don't do anything for it. But there is a photo booth. We've always gone semi-frequently, but then last year we didn't go, I think, hardly at all because we were so busy with wedding planning. So this year we said we would go once a season or once a quarter to have a photo strip from each season. So in June, I'm sure that's when we went for summer. So we'll say that's how we marked being halfway through the year. 7 July. What adventure or fun experience defined your summer? So in July, I took 2 trips to see loved ones. Well, July, August, but we'll say summer. 2 trips based on loved ones. One was to see someone act, someone who I love, who I've never seen act before, so that was so fun. And the second one, which is why I'm holding up 2, even though I'm saying one of those trips was to celebrate a milestone birthday for my dad, in Maine, which is where he's from, and it's also a place really strongly connected to my childhood, so that was really lovely as well. And my dad's not big on his birthdays, so at first we kind of had to talk him into going to Maine, even though he really wanted to, but he was like, I don't want it to be a big fuss, and we were like, is it right to be feeling like we're persuading him to do this? But he just didn't want a fuss. He didn't want it to be about him. And then once we got him on board, sort of, and we were there, he was so happy that we went, and it was so worth it to corral everyone, get them all together, align our schedules, plan the trip, get the tickets, get the place, all of that. Because he had the best freaking time, and it was a birthday gift in a way. We also got him little gifts, but just being together was really nice, and you could tell that he really, 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 really appreciated it. So, okay, 8 August. What did you focus on as summer ended and routine returned? I didn't do this. 8 August. One of those trips was still wrapping up in August, so August to me still felt like summer. It was not connected to my desired routine at all. and I'm a very routine-oriented person, so that drove me a little crazy, in a good way. Like, it just makes me feel a little unmoored, which is when you grow or when you relax, but then also, you know, I was at that time wanting to be more rooted in my routine, but instead I was still enjoying summer, finishing up that second trip, like I said, and then my partner and I went to some outdoor concerts, we went to some museums, we went to an art gallery. It's an art gallery, but it might as well be a museum, the way it functions. So we saw a lot of art. And I'll say too, one other thing is that I started doing deck interviews. So I just was taking my tarot decks. You can interview them in a lot of different ways. As I'm explaining this, I realize it sounds a little weird, but it's just a fun get to know you thing with your tarot decks, and I did it even with decks that I had before. Basically, I just would spend some time with them, and then when I felt like it, I would shuffle them and pull two cards, one that represented the deck and one that represented me, or like how the deck saw me or sees me. And then I took a picture of the deck with the backs of the cards, like the whole deck, and then the two cards I had pulled next to it, and I put it into a little photo album on my phone called Deck Interviews. So I have this little library now of all my decks and which cards I pulled for the deck and for me. You can read into the cards as much as you want or not, but I don't know. It was a fun way to catalog my little collection. Okay, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, no, 9, yeah. September. Did you set any new goals or priorities for the final quarter? In March or April, got back into language study again. And then in September, I started reading more Spanish for fun, like a book. I was reading Nuestra Parte de Noche by Mariana Enriquez, and really, really enjoying it because it was perfect for that time of year. It's spooky and witchy and magical. So I started doing that, and I also returned to my routine in September, and reading in general, English too, had kind of gotten away from me at that point of the year, which is very unlike me, and I talked about this a little bit in my favorite books of 2024 video, but I just hadn't been reading in the habitual way that I usually do. So in September, I reinstated a kind of habit, and to encourage myself to read more, I set a goal of reading just 30 minutes a night, just reading half an hour a night, which isn't a lot of time, which is the idea, because that makes it feel very manageable. So you sit down with your book and you read it, and then as you're reading it, you're like, oh, I want to keep reading, so you read longer usually, but 30 minutes was also okay if I only read 30 minutes. So yeah, I did that just because reading had kind of gotten away from me, and so I kind of brought it back, reeled it back in, you know, reeled it back in. Okay, October, 10. How did you embrace creativity or change this month? I started earlier in the year, but in October, I really dove into a new hobby of mine, which is collaging. I had already collected chose to do that just because I wanted to do something creative that was low stakes, that was just for me. Also something that was tangible. I work a lot on my computer, and I wanted something creative to do that didn't involve more time on a computer screen, because I just already spend too much time working on a computer screen. So that's what I did, and it's been really fun so far. It feels low stakes. It's just, for me, it's easy because it's found images, but then it's challenging because you're trying to put together compositions like a puzzle almost, and it's also really satisfying because through careful curation and composition, you can create some really beautiful pieces of art just from found images. I just find it very, very, very satisfying. So that's what I've been doing in my free time sometimes. Okay, 11. This is the 11, or this is the 11. November. What were you most grateful for in November? Okay, there's the usual answer, which is real for me, which is my partner, my family, my friends. The people I love are like choice, just beautiful, freaking people. I'm grateful for this channel, for you all, and how you connect with me. It's magic. I am grateful for my family, my partner's family, and our good health. Being able to breathe clearly and fully, being able to use my body to run and walk and dance, and my little doggy, who is a nut. She's freaking crazy, and she makes me laugh and smile every day, multiple times a day. And even when she's really annoying, because she's part husky, so she's really vocal, she's really smart, and she always voices her opinion. Even when she's really annoying, like I'm trying to work and she's howling at me and I'm trying to ignore her and I'm begging her for 10 more minutes of quiet time. Even when she's annoying like that, I still love her, and it's usually because she's basically trying to remind me to take a break from work, which is not a bad thing. To work less. She's like, work less, play more. So, okay, and then the 12th question, 12, which is my favorite number. 12. For December is, how are you closing the year? What are you celebrating or reflecting on? I am closing the year happily. I, again, love turning a corner into January. I love December and how it brings us together. We're celebrating our anniversary. Surprisingly, quite a few relatives messaged us saying happy anniversary. Like my partner's aunt, my partner's mom, my parents, and my sister all said happy anniversary to us, which is so sweet. But I was also like, now that I'm on the receiving end of this, I was like, I didn't know people were doing that. Have I been bad? Like, have I been a bad sister, a bad niece, a bad daughter? I've never wished anyone a happy anniversary before. I think I've always thought, well, it's their anniversary, that's between them. Yeah, but it is really sweet, and I think it's probably different when you've attended their weddings, so you really do have the date in your head. But yeah, I've never told someone else happy anniversary. Call me a curmudgeon. Yeah, we even got flowers. It was very sweet. So partner got me flowers, and actually the flowers that were sent to us from someone else were the wrong style of bouquet. So then a second replacement bouquet arrived. So we have 3 bouquets in our home right now, which feels very abundant, I must say. And then what am I reflecting on? I am reflecting on this year and setting goals for the new year, of course, which will somehow involve retaining my focus, like protecting my attention more. I've been doing okay at these things, but I can do better, I think, and they sound like yummy goals to me. I don't know. So retaining my focus, protecting my attention better, not burning out. Yeah, this idea of like doing less but better is something I'm interested in for the new year, but I haven't yet really sat and thought about what that looks like block by block, action by action. So that's what's coming up, and I'm just looking forward to the rest of the year, to celebrating people I love, celebrating our time together, celebrating the peace and love and kindness we can all generate and give to one another. And yeah, just feeling very thankful to have lived this year. So that is my end